Hello everyone, welcome again to online session of Manulaw classes. I am Dinesh Kumar and I am former assistant professor of law at Campus Law Center, Law Faculty, Delhi University, and presently I am working as an academic head of Manulaw classes. So my dear students, today I will discuss with you one of the landmark judgment of Additional District and Session Court of Kerala, okay? And the name of the case is State of Kerala versus Suraj S. Kumar. This judgment was delivered by Honorable Court on 13th October 2021 and this is the landmark judgment. But before moving to the discussion part of the judgment, there is an important announcement for all of you. Admissions are open at Manulaw classes for the upcoming batch of 2022 and 2023. All of you may get yourself enrolled with us for getting the best result. For more information, you can dial the given number on screen, that is 9971 444 054. Dear students, we at Manulaw classes are also providing 15 days free trial to all the aspirant of law entrance examination. And in these 15 days free trial, you will get the following benefits. Number one, you will get live classes with one-to-one interaction. Second, you will get various recorded conceptual lectures on various topics. You will get topic test and various sectional tests. And at last, we will provide you the analysis of your performance, and this analysis will be done by our team of experts. For availing the benefit of this facility, you need to do the following activities. First of all, you should find the link in the description below. Then you should locate the sign up for 15 days free trial. Then you should fill the form available there, and then you will be eligible to get the benefit of this facility. So now we come to the main discussion part of this judgment, and as I'm telling you, this judgment was delivered by Honorable Additional District and Session Court of Kollam District of Kerala, and the date of judgment was 13th October 2021. Basically, this judgment is landmark, and why it is landmark? Because it contains the death caused by the snake bite. This is the first kind of matter in our country where the accused has caused the death of victim by the snake biting. In this decision, I will discuss with you following provisions of IPC, and section 201 of IPC provides for the destruction of evidence. So if any accused person or if any person destroy the evidence, then such person is held liable under section 201 of IPC. Now we come to second provision, and the second provision is section 302 of IPC. So section 302 of IPC provides punishment for the murder. So if any person has committed the offense of murder, then such person shall be punished according to the provision of section 302 of IPC. Third is section 307. So section 307 provides for the punishment in the case of attempt to murder. So if any accused person has committed the offense of attempt to murder, then such person is liable for getting the punishment under section 307 of IPC. Next is the section 328. So section 328 of IPC provides that causing the hurt to any person by giving the poison. So now we come to the facts of this case, and the facts of this case are as follows. In this case, the victim was a wife of 25 years old, and she was the wife of accused Suraj S. Kumar. One day on 7th May 2020, she was found dead at her residence, and the cause of the death was snake bite. So the cause of the death was snake bite, but when this information reached to the family of this victim, then the parents of the victim thought that there is some foreplay in the death of the victim. Why this suspicion arose in the mind of the family member of the victim? Because the relation of the victim and the accused were not good or not cordial, and the accused and his family were constantly demanding for more and more dowry. One fact is here more important, that this victim was a disabled person, and when she married with the accused person, then the parents of the victim gave a lot of dowry to the accused person and his family, but their demand of dowry was not satisfied, and they were further making demand from this victim and his family. When the death was caused of the victim by the snake bite, then the suspicion arose in the mind of the parents of the victim that it may be a case of murder. So what happened? The family registered an FIR against the accused person, and police conducted investigation in this case, and police filed a charge sheet of 1000 pages to disclose that it was not a case of natural bite of snake, rather it was a planned murder by the accused to the victim, or by the accused of the victim. So after the registration of FIR, the accused was arrested, and that person who is the prosecution witness 1 in this case was also arrested. That person, the prosecution witness 1, also arrested because he provided the snakes to the accused for this purpose, and he sold the snakes to the accused in 10,000 rupees. So when both of them were arrested, then the snake handler, means the person who has provided these snakes to the accused person, turned approver, or he became approver of the prosecution, and he disclosed all the facts to the prosecution. Now it was contended on the part of the this prosecution that it was a case of murder, but it was contended on the part of accused that no, it was not the case of murder, rather it was the case of natural snake bite. So when this matter was before Honorable Additional District and Session Court in this case, so there were following main issues before Honorable Court in this case, and the issue number 1 was that whether the accused has committed the murder of victim or Urtha in this given situation or given case. Second issue was that whether the accused has caused bodily hurt by giving stupefying substance or stupefying drugs before the snake bite. So this was also the case that before the death of the victim, she was given some stupefying drugs, and after the induced snake bite taken place, and because of that she succumbed to injury, or because of that her death was caused. Next, whether the accused has caused the destruction of evidence in the case of murder or in murder case. So what happened, why this issue was in the question? Because after the committing the death of victim by the snake bite, accused disposed of the body, the dead snake, and he caused the death of the snake, and he disposed of the body of the same. So this issue was also before Honorable Court, that whether accused has destroyed the evidence in this particular case. So now we come to the contention on the part of defense. Defense here means accused. So the advocate of accused has taken following contentions to save the accused from the prosecution or from the criminal liability. And the contention number 1 on the part of accused was that the test conducted by the police on natural and induced bite in this case are useless, and they do not prove the guilt of the accused person. So basically what happened in this case, when the victim was bitten by the snake, then the expert and the police found that there were two marks of bite on the body of the victim, and these 2 marks were different. So when one snake bite a same victim and the marks are different, then it arouses suspicion in the mind of prosecution agency or in the mind of police. So police took the help of expert, and the expert found that one case was the natural snake bite, and the expert found that one mark was of the natural snake bite and the other mark was induced snake bite. So induced snake bite का मतलब है कि सांप को पकड़कर उसकी बॉडी से लगाना और ज़बरदस्ती सांप से कटवाना, ठीक है। और नेचुरल स्नेक बाइट का मतलब है कि सांप ने अपने आप ही उसको बॉडी को काटा। नाउ so the contention of the advocate of defense was that the police conducting this kind of test to find out that the natural whether the bite was natural or induced, this test is useless and this will not be sufficient to prove the guilt of the accused person. Second contention on the part of defense was that according to the police this incident was happened at two places, but police did not register the FIR at the different places and it violated the right to fair trial of the accused. So now we will understand this concept. So basically in this case the victim was also bitten by the snake before some days and she remained in hospital for 52 days for the treatment of that snake bite. So that was also considered as the attempt to murder by the accused person in this case. So in this case it was the contention on the part of defense advocate that since this offense has been committed as per the contention of prosecution at the different places, so there should have been different FIRs and different investigation in this case. And if there is no different FIR and no different investigation in this case, then it would violate the right of fair trial of the accused person. So basically right to fair trial is related to Article 21 of the Constitution of India, and which provides that the life and personal liberty of a person can only be taken in accordance to the procedure established by law. But Honorable Supreme Court in the case of Maneka Gandhi versus Union of India held that this procedure established by law must be just, fair and reasonable. So the word fair means fair trial. Now we come to the third contention. It was a natural bite in the given case and not the induced bite. So basically the defense advocate wanted to prove that this was the case of natural bite by the snake and it was an accidental death and it was not a murder or it was not the case of induced bite. Next, tendering the pardon to prosecution witness 1. So basically prosecution witness 1 is the snake handler. ये वही पर्सन है जिसने एक्यूज्ड पर्सन को स्नेक बेचे थे 10,000 रुपीज़ में, ठीक है। लेकिन बाद में क्या हुआ, दिस स्नेक हैंडलर बिकम द अप्रूवर। अप्रूवर का मतलब होता है सरकारी गवाह बनना। सो नाउ ही बिकम द विटनेस ऑफ द प्रोसिक्यूशन और विटनेस ऑफ द पुलिस। सो ही टोल्ड ऑल द स्टोरी टू द पुलिस दैट he did not know the purpose of buying the snake, but he gave these two snakes to the accused person in the consideration of rupees 10,000. So this was also the evidence against the accused person, but the defense lawyer of the accused person provided that tendering pardon to the prosecution witness 1 and extracting evidences from him as a witness will also violate the right of the accused person. So basically defense lawyer wanted to say that whatever evidences have been given by the prosecution witness 1 in this case should not be taken into consideration to decide the liability of accused person. Why? Because he only gave the snake to the accused person and he did not know or he did not have any knowledge about the intention of the accused person. So this merely giving the snake to the accused person is not sufficient to decide the liability of the accused person in the given circumstances. So now we come to all these were the contention of the accused or defense. Now we come to the contention of the prosecution. Prosecution means police, whatever contentions were raised by the police in this case. So the prosecution raised the following contentions, and the contention number 1 was that it was a case of intentional murder by induced snake biting. ठीक है, why it was considered as a case of induced planned murder or intentional murder? It was considered because according to the expert evidence the length of the said cobra was 152 centimeter and according to the expert evidence, the snake or cobra can raise its head up to 1/3 of its total length. अगर उसकी लेंथ 152 सेंटीमीटर थी तो वो केवल 50 सेंटीमीटर तक ही अपने हेड को उठा सकता था और वो किसी भी विक्टिम को काट सकता था। लेकिन जहां पर इसको विक्टिम पाया गया, मतलब शी वाज फाउंड ऑन हर बेड, देन द हाइट ऑफ द विक्टिम was more, so it was not a case of natural snake bite, rather it was a case of induced snake bite. Induced snake bite का मतलब है कि अपने हाथ से सांप को पकड़ना और उसकी बॉडी पर लगाना, ठीक है, क्योंकि कोबरा अपने आप इतना ऊंचाई पर नहीं उठ सकता था या वो अपने सर को इतना ऊंचा नहीं उठा सकता था। सेकेंड कंटेंशन वाज दैट इट वाज नॉट पॉसिबल फॉर कोबरा इन द गिवन सर्कमस्टेंस टू एंटर इनटू द सेड प्रीमाइसेस नेचुरली। ये कोबरा के लिए पॉसिबल नहीं था कि वो इतने ऊंचे प्लेस पर अपने आप चला जाए। वाई सो? बिकॉज दिस हाउस वाज टाइल्ड, मतलब टाइल लगे हुए थे हाउस पर, एंड इट वाज क्लोज फ्रॉम ऑल द साइड एंड दिस रूम वाज ए एसी रूम, ठीक है। सो इट वाज नॉट नेचुरली पॉसिबल फॉर द कोबरा टू रीच दैट पर्टिकुलर प्लेस। थर्ड कंटेंशन वाज दैट there were 2 bites mark on the body of victim and these 2 bites mark were different. So basically विक्टिम की बॉडी पर 2 bites मार्क थे एंड all these marks were different. So if the same cobra is biting the same victim, then the mark should not have been different if it was the case of natural snake bite. So it was contended that by the prosecution that it is a case of induced snake bite, मतलब सांप से जबरदस्ती विक्टिम को कटवाया गया। Now we come to the next contention. According to the expert evidence, generally cobra remain active from 5 PM to 8 PM in the evening, ठीक है, लेकिन this was a case of night, means snake or cobra bite the this victim at night. So general view ये होता है कि कोबरा 5 PM से लेके 8 PM तक ही एक्टिव रहता है और उसके बाद वो इनएक्टिव हो जाता है। एक्सपर्ट एविडेंस ने ऐसा कहा, लेकिन इस केस में जो उसकी डेथ हुई या स्नेक बाइट हुआ, that was at the night, so this was not possible naturally, so it was also contended by the prosecution. Next, accused also searched about snake and snake handler on internet and it was revealed from the search history of the accused. So when police took the electronic gadget of the accused person, then in the search history it was found that the accused has searched the snake and snake handler on his internet, and it was also a relevant fact under the Indian Evidence Act. Next, prosecution witness also gave 2 snakes to the accused in the presence of prosecution witness 7. तो यहाँ पर जो एविडेंस है प्रोसिक्यूशन विटनेस की, प्रोसिक्यूशन विटनेस कौन है? ये स्नेक हैंडलर है जिसने उसको स्नेक दिए थे, ठीक है। नाउ यहाँ पर जो एविडेंस है प्रोसिक्यूशन विटनेस की, इट इज आल्सो रेलिवेंट एंड प्रोसिक्यूशन विटनेस 1 हैज गिवन 2 snakes to the accused इन द प्रेजेंस ऑफ प्रोसिक्यूशन विटनेस 7. तो यहाँ पर दोनों की जो एविडेंस है ये भी कॉरोबोरेट करती है दैट इट वाज नॉट अ केस ऑफ द नेचुरल स्नेक बाइट, रादर इट वाज द केस ऑफ इंड्यूस्ड स्नेक बाइट. नाउ वी कम टू द नेक्स्ट कंटेंशन. Accused did not take victim to the hospital even after knowing the fact of snake bite. So basically, when accused came to know that this victim was bitten by the snake, even after this fact or even after knowing this fact, he did not take the victim to the hospital. लेकिन जनरली अगर कोई ऑर्डिनरी पर्सन होता या एक प्रूडेंट पर्सन होता तो इस सिचुएशन में वो अपनी वाइफ को डॉक्टर के यहाँ पर ले जाता और या हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट कराता. लेकिन इस सिचुएशन में एक्यूज ने अपनी वाइफ को इस बात के जानने के बावजूद भी कि शी हैज बिटन बाय द स्नेक, ही डिड नॉट टेक टू द वाइफ टू द हॉस्पिटल. नेक्स्ट, हिस्ट्री टोल्ड बाय द एक्यूज टू द डॉक्टर रिगार्डिंग स्नेक बाइट वाज आल्सो फॉल्स एंड अनबिलीवेबल. मीन्स जब डॉक्टर ने उससे स्नेक बाइट की हिस्ट्री पूछा, मतलब कैसे हुआ, ये सब ये हुआ, तो ही डिड नॉट गिव द करेक्ट इंफॉर्मेशन टू द डॉक्टर. ठीक है, सो दिस फैक्ट आल्सो बिकम अगेंस्ट द accused person. Next contention was that victim was with the accused person on both the occasions of snake bite and accused could not explain the transaction and discharge his burden under section 106 of Indian Evidence Act. So basically there were 2 occasions of snake bite and at the time of both these occasions this accused was person with the wife. तो ऐसा कैसे संभव है? कि जब भी उसको स्नेक बाइट करता है उसका हस्बैंड वहीं पर होता है. सो इट आल्सो गिव a reference that it is a case of induced snake bite. So basically honorable court in this case analyze the contention of both the parties, and after analyzing the contention and of both the parties, and on the basis of relevant evidences and circumstantial evidences, honorable court came to the conclusion that accused has committed the murder of the victim under section 302 of IPC. Accused was also liable for committing the attempt to murder of the victim under section 307 of IPC, and accused was also liable for causing hurt to the victim by giving the poison under section 328 of the IPC, and he was also liable for destruction of evidences under section 201 of IPC. So my dear students, this case is very landmark judgment, and this is an inspirational case for all the other kind of cases which may happen in future as well. And this is the first kind of case in which a planned murder has been committed by the accused with the help of snake, and accused wanted to show it as an accident or as a case of natural bite, but our prosecution agency failed the program of the accused person and gave the justice to the victim. So that's all for today, my dear students. I will come again with the next landmark judgment. Till then, please take care of yourself. Thank you very much. Goodbye.